God has given us these hands to do so many things. But among the many things that these hands are able to do are two things that I would like to point out today. One, redeeming. Two, accusing. These hands can be redeeming, but they can also be accusing. They can be redeeming when we use them to attend to those that have been defeated by sin, to pull them out of their reality of sin in order that they don't feel condemned or judged, and that they feel stronger, that they don't feel crushed under the yoke of the sin that has defeated them. These same hands can also be accusing when we use them to pick up stones and throw at those that have been defeated by sin. When we use them to point out the dark spots that we see in other people's lives. When we use them to judge other people, to condemn other people, so that they feel accused, they feel sinful. What do you use your hands for? Is it to redeem or to accuse? Is it to pull those that are defeated by sin, or to pick up the stones and throw at those same ones? When we read today's gospel, the people bring before Jesus a woman that has been caught in adultery. And according to the Jewish law, when somebody is caught in adultery, the punishment that is inflicted on them is actually death by stoning. That was the law. So these people, is it the Pharisees or the scribes, the chief priests, that bring this woman to Jesus, in fact, know that they didn't even have to bring her to Jesus for a sentence to be passed on her. They knew that immediately after catching her red-handed, they were supposed to kill her. But there's a reason why they bring her to Jesus, because they're also trying to pursue Jesus. So that when he says something that is contrary to the law, then they can have something concrete to raise against Jesus. And Jesus is able to read all their minds. Immediately he stops down and begins to write something. And there's something that he says to them, which I think can also be striking to us. Let that person that has never sinned be the first to cast that stone. Immediately Jesus raises his head. He sees that there's nobody around anymore. And he's asking the woman, but where are those that brought you here? Those that were almost killing you, where are they? They have all vanished. Because that statement made them realize that they are just as bad as this woman that they are trying to kill. Maybe even worse than her. It had to take Jesus for them to realize that they are just also as bad, that they are also living a life of sin. Because when they brought this woman to him, in a way, the language that they are speaking, or they were speaking, was that we are better than her. Yes, we could have done something wrong, but whatever we have done does not deserve a death. We don't deserve to die. But she deserves to die because she has done the worst thing. That is the language that they speak as they bring this woman to Jesus. So they are using their hands to judge, to condemn, to point out the wrong in that person's life. Jesus is trying to help them understand that, in fact, instead of using their hands for that purpose, they could use those same hands to help that lady come out of the life of sin. And Jesus uses his hands exactly for that purpose. He helps her to come out of the life of sin, and he tells her, go and sin no more. He does not condemn her. I think there's something that we can pick from there for our own reflection. We do know that many of us are defeated by sin in many ways. Some publicly, others privately. We also know that many of us have become accusers and judges, condemners of other people, in a way to say, at least we are better off, not like those. At least we are trying. Those are worse off. Some of us have had that kind of attitude. And as we reflect on this gospel of a woman that is brought to Jesus caught in adultery, I think we're also being reminded that we are just as bad as that woman. If she deserves to die for what she has done, then we deserve to die too, because we have equally sinned. But we are afraid of facing our own sin. So it is easier for us to face the sin of another person. We are afraid of addressing our own cracks in our lives. And it is easier for us to address the cracks that we see in another person. We are afraid of pointing those accusing fingers at ourselves, because it is not a very nice thing to do, to talk about your own sinfulness. It is a shameful thing to do, to talk about your own sinfulness. Maybe we are even too ashamed to face our own filth. And so the easiest thing that we can do is to look at the bad thing in another person's life. It is to look at the adultery of that woman. That is the easiest thing that we can do, so that we cover up our own sin, we cover up our own cracks, our own dark spots. But does that make us better? Certainly not. And when Jesus says, let that person that has never sinned be the first to cast the stone, he's also speaking to us to say, if you have never sinned, be the first to cast that stone. Amen.